Inside is a room full of flowering plants, bright paintings, and delicate curtains, with a glass ceiling letting light shine onto a round table with 2 wicker seats. A side door opens and a maid with a rolling table sets out a tea set before pulling it away and disappearing wordlessly. Cordelia doesn't even address it as she takes a seat, lifts the table curtains, and pulls out a pack of cards. She gestures to the chair across from her.
Please sit.
I pull the chair away from a cloth and plop down. Okay. She's shuffling the cards in her hands now. Now that we're here by ourselves, there's a couple of things I want to ask you.
Just ask the cards.
I don't think paper's gonna get into the specifics I'm looking for. She stopped shuffling.
Then what did you want to ask me?
Do you ever hear about strange stuff going on in this town? Stuff that you think you'd believe only if you saw it too?
Oh, all the time.
She leans in closer to me.
Occultists consider this town a hotspot.
Hotspot for what?
Anything you could name. Ghosts, ghouls, demons, and spirits. Things not of this earth. The popular opinion in this town is that it's the natives' fault. But anybody who's made the most cursory investigations into the culture knows that they reject occult practices outright. And there are other ideas about portals.
Portals? She nods.
Ideas about other worlds filling with people and creatures beyond our imagining. Existing right on top of ours, even. And when the barriers between worlds weaken, sometimes things slip through.
Sounding a whole lot like the shit from Adastra, bro.
Sometimes it's them, sometimes it's us. If it's truth and not fiction, I imagine it must be frightful for every party involved. We do like our familiar comforts.
She pours herself a cup of tea. What about ghosts, then? Know anything about those? She does not look comfortable.
I fear that I know more about ghosts than I would like to know.
And how's that? She looks to her left, then to her right, then over her shoulder.
Because I know for certain that this house is haunted.
For certain?
For certain.
How do you know?
Well, sometimes there's sounds in the walls where there aren't any rooms. And people are talking where there couldn't be. I've also heard things walk the hallway at night that weren't servants. And voices that have made sounds that I don't think is possible for a mortal body.
Noises like what? She starts to hum. For my neck sticks up. I think I've heard something like that before.
Everybody in this area has. Same hum, same reaction.
The hum! The hum! We've heard the hum in other games.
It's not the real thing, but it's close enough. It's like something we hear, then we forget. But when we hear it clear enough and loud enough, we know that we've heard it before.
Well, what is it?
It just is. Nobody really knows. But those who know how to listen for it generally manage to find it again before it goes quiet.
Strange.
That's the word we use when we come to accept that it's here. And because we know it's the truth.
I think I learned about something worse than ghosts a few nights ago. And so far, nobody's been able to help me. She looks at me. It feels like there's genuine worry in her eyes.
There's always somebody you can find who's willing to give you an answer. A lot of people will tell you that they have all the answers to everything, even if they don't know the truth.
But what if there's somebody out there who knows the truth? How could I find them?
Oftentimes you can't. But answers aren't the most important thing in the world.
Then what do you think is? She shakes her head, and a light from the ceiling shifts across the side of her face, and she beams so hard she practically glows like a breaking in the sunburst.
Being kind.
I cross my arms and sigh. Well, if that's your answer, then what can your tarot cards tell me? I don't want to put none of my faith into devil stuff.
Tarot isn't devil stuff. It's a card game developed during the Renaissance meant to reveal the truth of the world to the reviewer through their own understandings. The deck is full of cards that contain a great variety of meanings. And whether or not a card is upside down or right side up when you reveal it changes the meaning too. Shall we try it?
Alright.
Splendid! Oh, it's always so exciting to give somebody the very first reading. Right then, take a look at the table. The first card I draw and you overturn represents something about your past.
Ooh, what is this?
The High Priestess.
Who's she?
She represents passivity, insight, and mysteries. When she's right side up, it tends to mean that you've made a lot of useful discoveries in your past. That there will be more knowledge to come, but only if you trust your instincts.
So I'm already winning? Easy.
This isn't about winning or losing. It's more of a strong suggestion to stay your current course. The next set of cards represents something going on in your life in the present. Well,
I thought you said this wasn't gonna be any devil stuff.
he's just a character. We aren't paying him homage. People are usually surprised to learn that the devil isn't a bad card. He's a symbol of earthly pleasures. It could be a love for money or for lust, perhaps finer things in general. And because he's right side up, that indicates you're surrounded with earthly pleasures in your ongoing life.
I take a look around me. Seems about right. She laughs at that.
True. I know this is not an ordinary house, and we are not ordinary people. But sometimes the cards reveal something that isn't so on the nose. Have you been tempted by something? Or indulged in something that you wanted?
Hard to say. I feel like I do a lot of things whenever they think they feel good.
Sometimes the obvious is important to mind too. Now let's move on to the last card. I assume you've already guessed, but this one's about your future. Something that may or may not be manifested by the paths that you take. Shall we go on?
Sure.
Okay. Oh.
The tower. Well, that don't look good. That don't look good. That don't look good. That don't look good.
Brace yourself for this one.
I lean forward.
The tower card is not good. It's the one people watch out for more so than the devil.
Well, what does it mean?
Change through chaos or violent distraction.
She opens her mouth, then closes it, humming.
Positive spin,
There's two S's for some reason.
on this could be that you welcome the change.
She waves her hands as she's trying to think quickly.
That an obstacle which is part of your life need to be changed, or pulled up by the roots, so to speak.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna worry too much about pieces of paper.
That might be a prudent attitude in this case. Keep in mind that these readings are never final. If you don't like what you hear, there are always ways to change it. And if you do like it, Then just continue as you are and be mindful of your reading.
Well. Well.
I hope the cards revealed to you what you needed.
Mostly, I just think that they're pieces of paper.
That's all there'll ever be to some, and that's perfectly fine.
Before I go, I have another question. You said James, I mean, your husband, talks about me. What exactly does he say?
Well, he was honest.
Oh.
His dalliances help keep him regular, which is why I can only support them.
Wow.
Still illegal, of course. Wrongly, I might put.
She pats my wrist.
Your secrets are safe with me, though in perfect honesty, I feel they aren't my place to trifle with in the first place.
I see. Are you feeling a little dizzy, or it's not just me?
It's a hot day. Have you ever had any ice cream before, Mr. Ayers?
No. If it's what it sounds like, which is milky ice, then I think I'll pass.
Let's sneak off to the kitchen and have some, shall we?
She seems really excited about this. I guess I can try some. Just to be nice. She's been more than nice to me. I feel lost when she leads me past a series of doors and corners again, passing hallway after hallway until we reach the stairs again. Then I remember that they don't all have rails and that they're much more terrifying going up than they are going down. She offers a hand to help guide me down, which I don't dare refuse. I rest easy when we get to the bottom again.
Let's sneak around into the kitchen the other way, just in case Mr. Kroll and my husband still have matters that they'd like to discuss.
Instead of going right, we go left. We pass through a room full of fine seats and couches huddled around a fireplace. This is a nice little room here. Then we enter a series of hallways again. There's a ballroom with a fully stocked bar that's even bigger than the hips, and a gramophone. It's a gramophone, baby. And then another long hallway. Jeez, how many of these rooms do we got? And there's even a fish. There's a fish up there. We follow it, taking a left, and find ourselves an open kitchen with a tall ceiling. A female wolf is chopping vegetables. Hey! Hey! We know you, but in this route, we don't. But meta knowledge, we do. Oh God. She described her role in the other route as a housekeeper. This is like a dungeon chef.
Good afternoon, Chef Hattie.
Fucking William's ex-wife. So many other people showing up in this route. It's really cool, but it's jumbling my brainium.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Hendricks. Could you put out 4 bowls in the yellow tub and the icebox on the table? Of course, right away.
The wolf crouches and pulls out a tub from a small dark box underneath a marble countertop. And she places it in front of Mrs. Hendricks. The sheep pulls the lid off and scoops a bit of fluffy off-white material out of the tub. She offers the spoon to me.
Try it!
I take the spoon and shovel it down.
Wait, not that fast!
This is cold. This is fucking cold! There's a sharp pain in my head and I sputter, gagging on the stuff. I have to go to the sink and spit it all out and the pain is already gone. Flavor is sugary and sweet with a bit of a burnt sugar taste. Hey, that is good. Why did it nearly kill me at first?
Because it's a frozen dessert. The ice part isn't an exaggeration, Mr. Ayers.
but it's soft. Ice is hard. Frozen things are supposed to be hard. How did you make this?
Well, I'm glad that you asked. Their base is a mixture of eggs yolk, sugar, and high-fat milk, plus salt and flavoring. You can put your favorite candies or cake crumbles or swirls of chocolate in, too. It makes for a very versatile treat.
She crouches down to open her icebox and produce a large metal bowl and shows it off to me.
This is a tub of the base before it's frozen if you want to try some.
I scoop some out with my spoon. The spoon you had in your mouth, you gross ass! And sip. That's way too strong.
You only think that because it's not frozen. Freezing a dessert dulls its taste, so you have to make it stronger to compensate for that.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but may I use this counter to chop vegetables? The master of the house is very insistent on potato bisque tonight. I get the strong impression that she wants us out of her way.
Of course, we'll be going right away. Thank you for your help.
Always a pleasure. Wow, that's a fun inclusion. I say fun. It does make me feel a little better that she's not just like I don't. It's weird because like when I first heard that Hattie was getting included as like the housemaid, I was expecting her to be used as, you know, basically a prop, you know, for William's fucking fucked up maneuvers and all this other creepy shit. But since she's like way the fuck down in the basement, I still feel really bad for her because she's kind of frail and she's doing all this stuff. But that's before I even knew that there was a wife and there was all this other stuff. And just to see her out of the context of the William route, it does make the world feel more big. And I like that. I like seeing characters out of context, because if we had played, because eventually, like I've said in other contexts, eventually this game's going to be complete. And there are going to be people who are just going to play a route first. And what if they played Nick's route first? What the fuck? Oh, hey! I got a $1 patron on Patreon during this fucking random sidetrack bullshit. Thank you. Well, shit. Thanks. That was awesome. Sorry your name was so small I couldn't fucking read it. I need to make the alert box bigger. That was fucking awesome. Thank you for that. But yeah, basically, someone could play Nick's route first, and they wouldn't know that Hattie was William's ex-wife, or I said William earlier. James's fucked up dalliances. I apologize, but William's ex-wife, and so they just see Hattie there and be like, oh, whatever, and then it's just cool. It makes the world feel bigger and more full. It's just a really nice detail. I need to move on. I should have gotten I got the email. Polythium Wolf donated while I was recording. Shout out to Polythium Wolf for their $1 donation on Patreon. Fucking awesome. Ha ha ha. Oh, it was fucking cool. We walk straight through a doorway and end up in the dining room again, which, upon reflection, shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Nick and James are sitting in silence. Doesn't seem like they were doing that much talking.
James, dear, is there anything in the basement I should regard before I go down there? I want to show Mr. Ayers how I make the ice cream.
Not at all. In fact, why don't you take Mr. Kroll down with you? His brute strength is suited to dark places.
I'm flattered. He stands up and walks over to me and puts an arm around my shoulder.
We've been very deep together.
James starts laughing. That's not the kind of laugh he makes when he's amused. Mrs. Hendricks doesn't seem to notice and claps her hands.
Well, aren't you three as thick as thieves by now? Let's all go to the cellar.
As we turn another corner, I see James drop his fork. It's completely bent out of shape. Oh, he's pissed. Mrs. Hendricks takes us back through the...
He's like, everyone's fucked this guy but me. I'm so pissed. Ugh.
Mrs. Hendricks takes us back through the main entrance to the room with the couches and through another hallway. We go through a doorway that opens to a dark cellar staircase. She leads us down the stairs, her hooves clicking delicately as she descends. Oh boy.
Please don't pay the cellar much mind, we're still renovating.
She says that as if she's legitimately used to strangers judging her cellar. I lower my voice so only Nick can hear it. Lowercase Nick. A couple typos in this one, but it's the most recent build, so that's gonna happen. Ain't cellars just for storing old newspapers and boxes you don't need?
I thought they were mostly for making spirits.
She takes us through a counterclockwise path past a bench with weights, a subdivision with a pool table, and another section that looks like it has enough shelved goods to get the entirety of Echo through the winter. Oh, I am feeling incredibly uncomfortable now. We keep walking until we get to a section that looks like it's below the stairs we came from, and beside it is the thinnest looking door I've ever seen. Now where's that supposed to go?
That leads to the crawl space below the house.
Oh God! Oh God! So if this is the same house, this is definitely not where we want to be. As in the same house as Carl's house.
Why is the entrance so small?
I hear that most people used to be a lot smaller 50 years ago than they are now, but that's just ridiculous.
I think that they didn't want the swing to take up too much space. We haven't bothered to replace it yet because we are down here enough to be fast with it.
Where's James? Where's James? Oh, did he not come down here with us? Why the fuck would James bother to come down here with us? She opens the door and squeezes through, protecting her head with her hand. Why does she gotta come down here all the way? Ah, fuck it. I walk through next, and so does Nick. Oh God, it's the same picture! It's the same picture! Oh God, it's the same motherfucking picture. So yep, it's the same house. Unless they just recycled the shit. The crawl space is big enough to stand in, but only if all of us crouch. It's very dark and hard to see anything here. But at the opposite end of the room, a speck of light shines on a metallic handle on a door to a room that looks like a bunker. Why'd y'all put your ice in a room this far out of the way?
Hell, it's the coldest location on our property, which really makes a difference. Difference for the ease of storage. It's hard to keep a steady supply of ice in the middle of the desert, you know.
She opens the door and I feel a rush of cold wind that would be refreshing in any other location. Here, it just chilled me to the bone.
I don't want to be in here long, or else too much cold air gets out. Shouldn't be much longer. Let me get some of the older ice at the back of the room and use that up first. Huh.
Oh God. We hear her shuffle through some boxes while tossing one of them out of the room.
Don't know why something like that was in here.
Is it?
It felt rather light, so I'm not very sure. It sounds like it might be filled with paper. Certainly not the right place for something like that.
Oh, is it the stuff that fucking came from Carl's place? You know, the portals, stuff falling between dimensions and shit. Oh man, this is Chase's research that just shifted through dimensions in the crawl space. Mrs. Hendricks starts humming to herself as she goes through the boxes, perhaps getting a bit carried away with how she's organizing them, because she isn't paying attention to me or Nick at all right now. Nick drags the Oh man. Nick drags the box Mrs. Hendricks discarded to a corner of the crawl space where a beam of light was shining down.
Why?
Why what? I understand why he's confused now. What Mrs. Hendricks threw was a box of pictures. Pictures of people who work at CGCS. He's holding one up in his hand. I glimpse at it and see him, a big cat with stripes who's probably Yao, and somebody else who I can't quite make out. He holds it away from me. Hey, let me see.
I don't think that you should.
I don't care if it's an unflattering angle of you, I just want to see. He sighs and tilts the picture. There's another old, scruffy man in the picture. Ah, it's Jack. He puts his big arm on my shoulder.
How do you feel? Considering.
Now? Just angry. He grunts in agreement. If he were still alive, I just want to stomp on his tail while he dragged it along the floor. Looks like he's worried about me again.
Maybe he hurt you worse than I thought.
Huh? Now what's that supposed to mean?
It was strange how you said that. In fact, it...
Help!
Oh, she's got her face all fucked up. There's a sudden crash and we hear boxes tumbling around in the ice house. What? Oh, don't continue me. Oh, what's this? We got pictures. All kinds of pictures. A lot of pictures of Yao and Nick. Mostly pictures of Yao and Nick. Okay, so that really puts the theory that this was Chase's research out of the thing. That would have been too much of a crossover. Oh wow, we're still going? Damn, okay.
Oh no!
Mrs. Hendricks screams a very high, very girly scream. You can imagine it. Have fun.
I said help!
Please somebody help me. There's certain things I just can't scream. It's fucking 1:30 in the morning. Are you alright?
What happened?
It's terrible! It was completely frozen and it shouldn't been in here!
And in there.
What shouldn't have been in there?
A bug? I was like, what? Is there a head? Is there a foot? A bug?
A bug.
I keep these ice blocks sealed tight for restaurant quality! Somebody's been careless with the packaging!
To be continued. To be continued on that. You know what? Fair enough. It sounds like it could have been petty, but someone's been fucking around. There are pictures down there. Someone's been taking pictures. I want to look at those pictures again, real quick. Because these don't look like... Okay. Well, some of these pictures look intentional, but not all of them. Man, audio blocks. That's where the stock music comes from. Audio blocks. They're the ones to blame for all those fucking copyright things that I've been getting on YouTube, I guess. The original music, that's cool, but audio blocks, that's where they say they get their stock music from. This game keeps giving me copyright problems on YouTube. Limiting and sometimes completely eliminating my monetization for videos because of their stock music. So, audio blocks, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with their stock music, but their stock music is not stock music, man. Unless that's a new choice and they've recently redone it. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that is true or not, but either way, if that's the same source of stock music as prior, then they're the ones that have been fucking me up, and I do not fucking appreciate it. I've been mentioning that shit on Twitter. Every time a video has gotten a monetization problem, a copyright problem, because of a stock music problem, it's almost always this fucking game. I put it up on Twitter to warn other people who make videos just in case, so they know to either mute the song on that part or just to look out for monetization on that, because I don't know when to expect it. I never fucking know. But anyway, this update was cool. There was a lot of cool stuff. I liked how they included a lot of other routes characters. I liked the new character of James's wife. I still don't know if we can trust her or not. She seemed very genuine, but James is also very good at putting up a front. It was cool seeing James with a different dynamic. I liked seeing... There was a lot of different shit, which is good because Nick's route was getting a little samey, which is weird because it also was the one that was arguably the most action-packed. So, it also had a very sweet and tender moment, a very deep personal moment with Nick. But it also, I get worried a bit because you keep introducing more and more shit outside of Nick, and Nick still, out of all the other characters, Nick seems to be the one, his route seems to be the least about, which is weird. But anyway, thank you very much for watching these episodes of the Smoke Room, this update, the Build 21 update, and I'll catch you all next time. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye!